All right, folks, you will see here that I have a piece of paper with some drawing things on there, the word value. This is going to be an exercise in something I would call the building block of drawing, and that is this word value. Value is used in shading. It is simply put, not how much something costs or money value, but value being how dark and light something is. And you can see right here in this little box I have here, that is actually a value scale. And I made this by shading extremely dark with my pencil and slowly lightening it up until it gets to white all by itself on this side. And that is essentially how you do shading when you're doing a drawing. Let me show you some examples and some student work. Now this right here is a drawing a student did that highlights the value scale really well. And you can see here there are different darks and lights in here. Not only is it a great line drawing, but you can see the different shades of darknesses and lightnesses that are in here. And this student made that by shading with the pencil, pushing harder, which we call pencil pressure, or holding the pencil up lighter to make lighter shades. Did even use a little bit of a blending stick here, which is a small little stick that you can rub on already shaded parts that start to fade it out a little bit. Okay? Now this is one, like I said before, one of the building blocks of a great drawing. Let me show you another one. This is a National Geographic cover that I drew once. Here is the result of that. So you can see the difference between the two as I get it in here with my camera. You can see first, line drawing is how I created that, but really what makes it work is the shading. And how do we do the shading? Value. Darks, lighter areas, and all the grays in between. Okay, so I'll let you look at this real quick here. You can see some of the creative things that I did here. Instead of drawing these figures in the back, I shaded them, again using good shading lines with value. And just kind of worked on that picture. You use my artist's eye to start to highlight things and draw things and shade things where they need to be, and also to make a good drawing. Not just drawing the picture, but taking the picture and making an artwork from it. Okay, eventually we'll get to that point. But what I want you to do today is I want you to make some of these value scales. You can do this with any material. You can see I have a Sharpie here. You can also see I have my pencil that I made here. And now I'm working on a red pen that I am doing a value scale here. Even though this is red, you can still work on the value scale, which is more lines for darker, less lines for lighter. So if you see me do this, I'm getting in here and I'm just doing kind of all over lines like this. One thing I've learned when I'm doing this is that if you squint your eyes, it helps a whole lot in your shading. You can start to see some of how things get lighter and so forth, keeping my lines all over the place as I make this. Now, one key to all of shading is you can always, it's so much easier to make it darker by going over it. You can always add more. It's harder to take it away. So I need a little darker over here. Like so. And that is my value scale there. And I'm going to make this side real dark. Like so. Alright, so your assignment is you are going to work on these. Now, I encourage you to use different materials you have around. Okay? I used a pen. I got a pencil. I got Sharpie. Let me show you how to make one of these. Now, the easiest way to do this is to grab a ruler, put it down, You don't want it any longer than 4 inches. So I'm going to stick this ruler down here. I'm going to go around the ruler at that 4-inch mark, stopping at 4, and just doing one of these. Just like so. And you can make, again, any kind of value scale using any kind of materials. One thing that you'll see artists, and you see it kind of in here, are these nice sketchy lines. I could do that here as well. Actually, let's do it at an angle. I could just keep going over and over here. You can see how I'm getting lighter and lighter as I work. Pencil pressure. And your last set should be barely see it. Now you can go over it, sharpen things up a little bit. I always like to go back to the dark and make that. That should be your, I always recommend starting with dark, because you know you can make that as dark as you can and then go from there. Here's another one. Let's not even make those. I can even do just some things here where I just go make this nice thick dark line, just kind of sketchy all over the place. Which one am I going to do here? There it is. Working on my pencil pressure. I faded that one out quick. How about just a straight line? Dark, 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 lighter, 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 lighter. Here it goes. Gone. That's a value scale. So I want you to try some of these. You don't have to do the exact ones of mine, but if you could make 4 like this, that'd be great. Really work on piling lines up, and especially in the case of a pencil, working on your pencil pressure, where you're pushing hard and then lightening up. That's where these exercises come in real handy. And I can tell you, once you start drawing, it makes things a lot easier. If I'm drawing a ball and I'm starting to shade things in, I know if I push real hard, this is going to be the shadow. Like so. Just do some sketch. Lightening it up, lightening it up, lightening it up. And even though this is kind of sloppy and sketchy, I could go in here. As long as I'm working with piling lines up, and maybe not using and working on my pencil pressure again, you can really get some cool things going. Work on your outside line here. And this is all just some sketchy stuff. Be a drop shadow here, put that in. We know underneath the drop shadow it is extremely dark. There we go. Got too many spaces in between those lines, so I'm going to go back over top of it. One thing artists like to do is they call a thing called cross hatching, which goes against the lines. And then sometimes there's a little bit of a shadow around it. It's lighter. Maybe you get a little cast shadow over here. Again, just warming up, doing some practice. First thing you guys are going to do here, I shouldn't say the first thing, but after this is Tuesday, today, and then on Wednesday we're going to talk about doing a line drawing, and then how you're going to bring that into the classroom when you come in next week. All right, so try this out. Go put your name on it, and then I'll tell you what to do after you finish it all up. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.